everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Neil, and today hold on, I'm getting something. We now go live to the studio that is also the studio. Thank you, Neil. You know, here at Truly Artrageous, we pride ourselves on a lot of things. Having fun, learning how to draw, but most of all, we pride ourselves on accuracy. Now, you probably all thought that we prided ourselves, if that's a word, on drawing, but no, it's accuracy. Last week, we released a new video called How to Draw a Cartoon Watermelon. Be sure to go watch that. And in that video, we gave a shout out. But I'm here to tell you that the shout out was to the wrong person. And since we pride ourselves on accuracy, we needed to make a correction. So the shout out for that video should have gone to Addison Richland. Addison, this is your official shout out. Now back to you, Neil, in the studio that's also this studio. Thank you, Neil. And now back to drawing. So today we are going to be drawing possibly my favorite anime character of all time, All Might from My Hero Academia. But before we get into our drawing, just a reminder in case you guys don't know already, we post brand new videos to the channel here every Thursday. So when that calendar rolls around to Thursday and you're feeling the itch to draw, come on back to Truly Artrageous and have some fun with us. All right, let's get into our drawing of All Might. Let's get started on our drawing of my favorite anime character, All Might. So for this one, you're gonna need a drawing utensil. I'm using my marker. Feel free to choose whatever's most comfortable for you. Then you're gonna need a piece of paper. And then when we get to the coloring step, this is the color palette that I'm choosing for All Might. Feel free to copy this or choose your own colors if you don't like the colors that I'm using. Also, if I'm going too fast during the tutorial, feel free to push that pause button or hit rewind. I want you guys to be able to follow along as easily as possible. Okay, let's do step number one. I apologize, my hands are covered in ink because one of my pens exploded in my marker bag. So sorry they look kind of gross, but that's the reason why. Okay. Step number one, we're going to draw his brow and his nose. So we're going to start at about right here. We're going to draw a line in like this, and we're going to come out a little bit like this. Then we're going to go down to create the top of his nose there. Come back in like this, and over like that. And then we'll come back up to the top here, and we'll curve this off to indicate that brow. Next, we're gonna draw his upper lip, his smile, and his lower lip. So, All Might likes to smile because he really enjoys being a superhero. To American audiences, he may look a little evil, but he's actually a really good guy. So, we're gonna draw that happy smile in there. We're gonna pull a curved line down like that. And we're gonna curve a line back in like that. We'll curve that smile all the way up like that. Do a straighter line down like that. We'll curve in to complete the bottom part of his smile there. Curve down and create that lower lip. Next, we're gonna create his jaw and chin. So we'll do the chin first. So let's curve line down in like this. And then we'll just pull a line down like that because he's got a pretty big chin because he's super heroic. And then we'll pull a line down like that. And a line up like this to indicate the jaw. And then the back of the jaw, a straight line up like that. Next, we'll do the top of his head and his hairline. So we're gonna come up like this to about there. Then we're gonna add in his awesome pointy hairs. So that starts right here. I don't know why he has that hairstyle, but he just does. He's All Might and he can do whatever he wants really because he's super powerful. Okay, so we're gonna curve a line up like this to indicate part of the hair. Curve back in like that. Keep that going up like that. And then back in like that. So they're kind of like jagged little shark fin lines. And then we'll stop right there. We'll come up on this side starting here. Come up like that, back in like that, and then we'll close out the top of the hairline like that. There's another piece of hair on this side, so there's two of them. And we'll indicate that with some lines here. Come up like this and down like that. Then we'll curve that line up. So we're almost matching what we did before, like that. And then another one up like that. So it gives that impression that there's two of them. Then we'll do the back of the hairline like I was saying. We'll come off of here, curve that line all the way out. Down, kind of comes in there, and then it goes down to there. Then his hair is long, so it starts at about right here. It's not super long. So we're just gonna make some jagged lines to indicate the bottom of the hair. So we'll start here, we'll go down like this, up like that, smaller one there. And you can kind of vary these. It doesn't have to be in any particular way or exactly like I'm doing because it's hair, and hair's kind of wacky. It goes every which direction. It's just not perfect. Next, we're gonna draw the ear, and we're gonna draw the lower part of the hairline. So the ear is gonna start at about right here. We're gonna curve a line up, down, and in like this. Then that hairline is gonna start right here. It's gonna curve down just a bit like that. It's gonna come out like this. It's gonna go down like that. And this is where kind of his sideburns are, and we'll come up and in like that. All right, let's move on. Now, you may have noticed that All Might sort of jumped on the page. And that's because I didn't like the way he was positioned. He was too close to this side. I wanted to make sure that we had enough room to get enough detail on All Might. So I went ahead and retraced him in a different position on a new piece of paper. And you can go ahead and do that. That's not a wrong thing. If you don't like the way something looks, it's okay. Everything is okay in art. Go in and change it, even if that means totally starting over. Everything is okay in art. So let us carry on. Next, we're gonna do the top of All Might's brow line and his eyebrow. So that's gonna start right here. And we're gonna pull just a line back like this, just to give us an indication of where the eye is. A lot of All Might's face is gonna be in shadow because that's the way it is in the anime. But I wanted to draw this line here so that it helps us position where the eyebrow goes. So let's add that eyebrow. So we're gonna curve a line down like this. We're gonna come up and over like this. And then we're gonna do some jagged hairlines. So just go like this. You can feel free to choose however you want it to look. It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm doing, but something like that. Then we'll go ahead and add the nostril to his nose, and then we'll add his teeth. So the nostril is just a line like this, and we're gonna come up and around like that to indicate the side of the nostril. Then we'll add his teeth in here. So it's just a straight line down like this. We're gonna come in a little bit like that, because everybody's kind of got that overbite when they smile. And then we'll pull down a line like that to get the bottom teeth. All right, next we're gonna do the underside of his jaw and his neck. So this is gonna come under like this. And then he's got his Adam's apple because he's a big superhero, like that. And then this kind of swoops out because it's got a little part of the sternocleidomastoid muscle in there. And then we'll stop right there. Next, we'll indicate that collarbone line and a little bit of his chest. So collarbone line comes out like this, and then we're gonna come down like this, and then we'll curve out and down off the page like that to indicate his chest, or the top of his chest, I should say. Next, we'll come back over here and put his trapezius muscle and a little bit of his back on. So we'll start right here. We're gonna pull that line out and down off the page like that. Next, we'll come in and we'll indicate his collar, because his uniform comes up a little bit above his collar line here. So it's just gonna be a curved line up like that. Next, we're gonna add just some indication lines to indicate the top of the collarbone and some of the musculature in the neck. So we'll draw a line starting right here all the way up to about there. Then we'll come down in here and we'll pull a line up like this, and that indicates that sternocleidomastoid muscle that helps your head turn. And then a little bit of a line right here. Then we'll come down here and indicate, I can't remember what this muscle's called, but that connects to your neck there. And then the trapezius muscle kind of comes around and down like this, because it connects to part of your clavicle and then kind of goes over your back, over your shoulder. Next, we're gonna come in here and drop in his shoulder muscles. So they start right here. I'm gonna pull that down like that. And then there's one line over here we'll just indicate like that. Then we'll plug in some chest muscles too, because he's super buff. Pull a line up like this. And then maybe another one down here like this. Next, we're gonna add parts of his costume here. So right about here, there's a thick line where the red part of his costume is. So we're gonna follow that line that we did before, all the way up and back like this. Then we're gonna come down, swoop down like that. Then we'll come down and kind of follow the chest line here for a little bit, but then we're gonna come off like that with that straight line, because he's got this kind of diamond shape in the middle of his chest. And then we'll add another line to indicate that diamond shape that I was talking about. Then he's got some lines on his shoulder. It's kind of the continuation of this design here. So we'll curve a line up like that and over like that. And then one underneath it to copy that, because it's kind of a stripy thing. And that's that. All right, next we're gonna start dropping in some of that shading that All Might is famous for. I don't know why his face is always in the shade, but I guess his features are extremely prominent. So we're going to start up here, up here, and then we're gonna curve a line up like this and down like that. Then I'm gonna jump down to here a little bit. I'm gonna create some of the cheek. And then this line is gonna actually pull back like this. And it's gonna come down like this, and over like this, and then it's going to curve down like that. Then I'm gonna come over here and I'm just gonna connect this with a little curve line like that. So there's a crease in your face right there where your cheek kind of connects to the nostril. So we'll go ahead and indicate that with a line like this. And then there's gonna be another line that comes off of here that indicates the break between the upper part of the mouth and the cheek. Then there's a curved line up here that's gonna indicate the shade that's coming over his eyebrow, and then a curve up here that's gonna indicate the side of his face and that shadow. So we're gonna curve a line up like this, and then we're gonna curve a line up like that. And then his ear is partially in the shade, so we're gonna indicate that with a couple of lines here. So we'll curve a line down like this, curve over like that, because you got that little fleshy part of your ear. And then you're gonna curve a line up, over, and down to about there. And then there's a little bit of shade underneath his lip there that we're gonna indicate starting right here. Pull that line down like that, and then curve up like that. Next, we're gonna indicate the shadow underneath his chin. So that's gonna pull back a little bit from here, and it's going to connect to this piece right here, the in between this muscle and the trapezius muscle. Then there's going to be a shade line right here. We're gonna pull down like that, and then we're gonna pull down like that. Next, we're going to add a little bit of shade to the trapezius muscle here, and that kind of connects on into the shoulder. So that's gonna start right about here. We're gonna pull a line down like this. We're gonna pull another line down starting up there, all the way down like this. That's gonna come out a little bit there. Then we're gonna pull a line starting there all the way down and into there. And then curve a little bit of a line right here to there. In the deltoid here, there's actually like 3 different parts of it. Your deltoid is your shoulder muscle. We're gonna draw some lines that kind of indicate that 3D look for 2 of those muscles. So we're gonna start right here. We're gonna curve a line up to about here, and then we'll stop. Then we'll pull out here. We're gonna draw a line that indicates the shade on the back of the trapezius muscle. So we're gonna pull that up like that. This line is going to come down and kind of copy the line behind it. And then we'll just kind of carry that off the page. And then this line we're gonna pull up off of here, and then we're gonna pull down like that. So you got 1, 2. And then lastly, we're gonna come down here to the chest muscle and just give it a little bit of that 3D round shape with some shade down here. Pull that down like this. Same thing over here, we're gonna pull a line down like that and off the page. And actually, last but not least, because I forgot to do this, we're gonna add some shade underneath his nose, because when the light comes down like this, there's some shade underneath your nose. And we're just gonna indicate that with a curved line up like this. And then off the nostril here, we're gonna curve a line up like that. So it gets that kind of shade underneath your nose. Or underneath his nose, I should say. So a helpful little tip here, if you're dealing with all this shade, sometimes it's difficult and you can get lost if you're using a marker. If you have a pencil, you can go in and erase, but if you're using a marker, you may want to just go through here and just put some X's to indicate the black parts so you don't get lost. And I'm just going to do that real quick. All right, and there's your line work for All Might. And now it's time for the gratuitous, cringeworthy, slightly annoying dad joke. Okay, what happens when you combine a cat with a fish? You get a piranha. All right, let's move on to our coloring step. We'll do that in super speed, starting now. All right, there you have it, your fully colored All Might. Thanks everybody for drawing along with me. I hope you guys had lots of fun. Hey, if you wanna go support the channel, just hit that subscribe button down below and give us a like by hitting that like button. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.